Update. Am I the a-hole for not going back to my home country for my sister's wedding? Original post. I, 28, immigrated to Canada 7 years ago. I got married after I was 21, and my husband was already living there and came back for marriage. It was arranged by my grandparents. It was strange at first, but I truly did love him. In my religion, remarriage is not prohibited. There is a part of it, if I say in English, that says husband and wife are not those who sit together but whose souls are shared. I feel like my husband's soul and mine are shared, and I have no interest in ever being with another man. My grandparents do not understand that. They want me to bring my kids back to my home country so they can get me remarried, so my kids can have a dad. Even if I wanted to, there are so many unknowns in that scenario that I do not wish to deal with. They have stopped asking me now, but I know it is what they want. My sister, 24, is getting married in June, and she badly wants me to be at her wedding. I would be lying if I said I do not want to go myself. From the way my grandparents were talking, I just know that if I go, they are going to try and get me married too. It's not a situation where I'd end up getting married, but I do not want to put up with the harassment and subject my kids to the idea that they might get a dad because they had a dad who loved them. When I told my sister that I was not going to be able to go, she got very upset with me. She called me selfish for not wanting to come after not seeing her for so many years. I pointed out how our grandparents are, but she said I should put up with it for a month for her. Maybe she is right, and I'm being a jerk about this because we were so close before I left. To edit, my husband has passed away and so have my parents. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not a home. What you wrote about your marriage is beautiful. You may or may not ever find another love like that. That will be your choice to open your heart. I'm not sure about your culture or whether your family home would be a safe place to be. If you feel like you would be in danger of kidnapping or similar, you must not go. However, if you can trust them not to pressure you, you should go be with your sister and celebrate. Put ground rules in place and have a plan for an early departure if you need it. I'm not sure I agree with the last part. Opie lucked out with her husband, but she could not be as lucky with the next one. And right now, she has children to consider too. Her grandparents are showing a lot of signs of not respecting her wishes. Opie has noticed and remarked on this, and if she were to go to that country, she could be in a situation where she can't just have an early departure. It's not rare in countries where arranged marriage is encouraged for the reluctant bride to be locked in a house or given a chaperone so that she cannot escape until the wedding. Not a-hole. It sounds like you're concerned about being pressured into getting married again. This is a lot easier to resist when you're in another country. Could your grandparents be using you to get residency for someone in Canada by marrying you? I'd stay away too. It is very likely. Don't risk it. It's not only that you could end up with a bad husband, your children could end up with a bad stepfather who treats them as less than because they are the kids of your first husband and not his. You could be risking not only your future, but theirs too. Not a-hole. I'm assuming how it's written that your husband is no longer with you. You said you were essentially soulmates, so I'm sorry for your loss. I'm having to fill in some gaps here, but it sounds like you going back will put you in an unsafe position and possibly expose your kids to some harm at the same time in regards to having a new dad. Being back there for a whole month is a substantial amount of time as well. Time for your grandparents to try and manipulate you and your kids. Maybe the secret option is to have someone babysit your kids for a long weekend and you can go back for the main ceremony, if it's safe to do that. And now for the update. So after reading everybody's comments, I got worried that my grandparents may actually be planning to make me get married. So I called my brother and told him my fears. He called my sister and he told me it tricked her into revealing our grandparents' schemes. Apparently, they were planning to get me married maybe at the same time as my sister or after. I do not know how they thought they could get away with it, since the temple would never allow that, but it was their plan. So my brother told me I could either make it clear I was not going and end things publicly, or I could just do it secretly. I feel betrayed by my sister, and I know my brother is angry with her. But history of my people teaches us not to seek revenge, and that would hurt my sister's wedding and her reputation. So my brother bought me and my kids tickets, and the plan is to cancel and get my doctor to give some medical reasons not to fly. My doctor is from our community and she will understand. I had to calm my brother down so he can still enjoy her wedding since him being there is more important. It is sad that I cannot go back to my home country now and I cannot take my kids there either. But Canada is a great place. Nobody here pressures me for remarriage and every man and woman at work treats me and my situation with respect. My husband is not alive anymore, but I know our souls are together forever. I am sad that my first home no longer believes, but I will never stop. Great job by your brother being there for you. By the way, I'd never go to your old country again, as you'll experience nothing but pressure if you ever go. Yes, my brother has always looked out for me, and it makes me happy that he understands why I do not ever want to be remarried. I will probably go back when my children are older so that they can see the temples that experience our culture, but only if my grandparents have stopped pressuring me. Yes, your brother is a great person who truly cares for you and your family. I think some special thank you dinners for your brother should be on your calendar in the future. When he and his family come over, I will make him all of his favorite foods just like our mom used to make them. Not stay home. My grandpa passed really young from a heart attack. My grandma raised 6 kids on her own. When I was older, I asked her why she never even dated after grandpa died. She said she'd crawl through glass to have 1 minute with him again, and she just lived the life they had planned because it made her happy. She wasn't against remarrying, but she'd met her love and that was enough. Betty White never remarried after her husband passed in 1981. She always said, once you've had the best, who needs the rest? I'm not at all religious, but I hope they manage to meet up again on the other side. History of my people teaches us not to seek revenge, and that would hurt my sister's wedding and her reputation. Here's the thing about history. It was made by people who committed so many sins that they are afraid that they will be targeted, so they discourage revenge. Your family did wrong by you. Don't do right by them. The history of my people is not like that at all, and that is not why they discourage revenge. It is because revenge will give us nothing, and I know I will gain nothing from ruining my sister's wedding but will only lose her. So the best thing I can do is just be happy with my children. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not giving up my accommodation for the bride's side of the family? My husband's friend is getting married in Spain by the beach. I booked our flights and accommodation as soon as I found out the date, because I was excited and wanted to get a good place now, rather than later when there would be significantly less options. I recently lost a lot of weight and have a lot of loose skin. I'm not comfortable at all with anyone besides my husband seeing my body, so I didn't want to stay in a hotel with a pool. Instead, I booked out a 3-bedroom villa with a pool. It was the smallest option. The others were 7 or 8 beds. My husband told his friend about the good deal we got on it, and he was happy for us. Fast forward to now. He and his fiancée asked if we'd stay somewhere else and allow some of her family to stay there instead. They said they'd give us the money we paid for it. But like I said, we got a good deal because we booked early. There are now no homes with private pools available, and the hotels just cost about the same as the 3-bedroom villa, and I can't use the pool, so I'm getting less for my money. I refused and opened up about why I wanted a private pool. She was really nice at first and gave me a speech about how beautiful I was and no one would care. But I can't just switch off my insecurity, so I said no again. And then she flipped and said I was selfish for hogging a 3-bed place because I was too scared to get my flab out. The soon-to-be-married couple obviously think I'm the a-hole. My husband thinks I should just let it go because it's their special day and we don't want to make things difficult for them. But at the same time, this is the only time we can afford to go away. So although we are going for the wedding, it's also a holiday for us. And why should I have to be uncomfortable on my break? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. So the a-hole asked for a favor, got turned down and decided to insult you in order to make you do what she asked? She certainly doesn't sound like much of a friend to me. That's because she's not a friend. She's an a-hole. Also, how is it that the couple getting married don't have their act together with booking rooms for the wedding they're planning? It's not like this was a surprise. Not stay home. Go to Spain, enjoy the villa, and skip the wedding. Yes, do this. Not stay home. This is another case of people having a wedding and being inconsiderate of the guests. I'm tired of people acting like their special day means they get to treat others like crap. Your husband should be backing you up, because it's messed up. Not stay home. She wasn't being nice. The supportive speech was a transparent attempt to get on your good side in hopes that you'd give her what she wanted. She and her fiancé are entitled a-holes. The relatives should take whatever they can get and learn to plan better. I hope that by "my husband thinks I should just let it go" you don't mean "my husband thinks I should let them have the villa." If that's the case, then he's an a-hole too, especially after that comment she made. Please stand your ground and don't give up the villa. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for disrespecting my in-laws and leaving dinner table after my husband's dad insulted me? Last night I had my in-laws visit, made them dinner and put it on the table while I had my own dinner, which was a yogurt and salad, because I'd gained few pounds and my husband pushed for me to lose some. Anyway, we were all sitting eating when my husband's dad asked what I was eating. I told him a salad, and with a confused look on his face, he said, "A salad? That ain't gonna fill up your fat ass." Suddenly, some of my in-laws started giggling, and my husband did too. I felt upset and humiliated, so I got up from my seat and went to stay in my room till my in-laws left. My husband barged in asking why the hell I left my guests by themselves. I told him his dad insulted me and made a joke in front of everyone. He said that I was being too sensitive and too self-cautious, and that didn't warrant leaving the table and disrespecting his family. I argued that he should have defended me instead of laughing along, but he insisted it was just a joke and I should chill. I then said that he's not a lawyer or a police officer, so I should quit expecting him to get involved in every disagreement I have since I'm an adult. We kept on arguing and he said that I disrespected his family by leaving the dinner table and hiding in my room like I was a child when I could have just chilled and kept my cool. My mother-in-law sent a long wall of text about how inappropriate my behavior was. He may be right in that I messed up and was being a bit too sensitive, since this is just how my father-in-law is. Honest and straightforward even with his jokes. Am I the a-hole? Could it be that I overreacted? So let me get this straight. Your husband has pushed you onto a diet. Your father-in-law then joked about your weight. In your home, at your table? And then your darling husband laughed, didn't see how rude this was. But you being upset and leaving the table was what crossed the line? GTFO. Not the a-hole. Hun, I'm commenting here because it's the top comment and I hope you see it. You're absolutely not the a-hole. You were insulted in your home. It is not okay for anyone to speak to you like that. I'm sure your husband and his parents have plenty of faults of their own. Would you be able to get away for a few days to think about the current direction in which your life is headed? Is this what you want for your future? Do you feel lonely in your own home? I promise you deserve to feel loved and appreciated just the way you are. If you would like to lose weight to feel healthier, then do it for you. Treat yourself with the care, kindness, and the love that you deserve from family. Be your own best friend. Your BFF wouldn't want you treated like this. I want to add one thing that might help Opie's perspective. Husband can't get involved in every little disagreement, so he doesn't have to defend Opie. Well, husband sure had no problem defending his parents and getting involved on their behalf. They're adults too. The excuse of "I shouldn't have to defend an adult" isn't his actual opinion. Husband's view is "I won't defend wife." Yes, absolutely this. My soon-to-be ex used to do the same thing. Finally, someone pointed it out. You mean he won't get involved if his family does something that insults you? He won't stand up for you, but he'll defend his family if you do something that somehow insults them? He'll get involved. Of course he will. When you can be blamed, no matter how minor the infraction, it's always somehow your fault. I went, she was right. And thus began the long journey of discoveries of exactly how much manipulative and abusive behavior I had endured for years. Opie, you're not the a-hole. You're the victim. Start taking a good long look at your marriage. The situation sucks, yes, but in itself doesn't necessarily warrant divorce. The problem is, it's indicative of other behaviors. Other issues you may not realize are just as harmful. Chances are, this behavior of his isn't the problem. It's a symptom of something much bigger. Love and protect yourself, really. There are several indications of bigger issues here, and you owe yourself a good long look. Not a-hole, but why exactly are you married to this a-hole? He polices your weight and laughs when his family insults you. WTF? If a member of my family said something like that to my wife, which they wouldn't, I'd throw them out myself. Immediately. No hesitation, the next words out of my mouth would be, "Get out." And he's a hypocrite. He won't defend Opie or get involved when his dad outright insults her because she's an adult and she shouldn't be sensitive. But when his parents feel insulted because Opie walked away, then he has something to say. Well, his parents are adults too, and they should be far less sensitive about people quietly leaving. They're all just mad Opie refused to be the night's entertainment by being their verbal piñata. Hold your head high, Opie, and keep walking away from insulting a-holes. If you're looking to diet, I know a great way to lose a couple 100 pounds of dead weight. It's called a divorce, not a-hole.